Hey y'all, welcome to our next version, Hey y'all, welcome to our next sequence in building our own home practice. So today we're going to be doing both standing and using our chair as a prop. So grab a chair and make sure if you're on a slippy floor, like a hard floor, then make sure all four legs are on your mat. I've got carpet and I know it won't slip, so I've got mine half on and half off. But we'll use that to make some of our poses a little bit more accessible today. So come to a comfortable standing pose, your feet, your legs a couple of comfortable distance apart. Maybe that's hip width or maybe a little wider. Just begin by rocking into your feet and feeling the balance into all four corners, front and back, side to side of your feet, so you feel really grounded. And then put a slight bend in your knees, and then use your legs and push up to a tall standing. Tuck your hips in a little bit, pull in your abs. Stand with a tall spine, reach the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Lift your shoulders up, roll them back and let them down. And let your hands just fall out to your side. Either with a soft gaze down towards the ground or with your eyes closed, whichever is more comfortable. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale everything out with a sigh. Take a clearing breath in through the nose. Exhale everything out with a sigh. Inhale through your nose. Exhale everything out with a sigh. You can keep your eyes closed or let them blink open. We're going to start with warm up. Start with our neck. Let your right ear drift towards your right shoulder. Try not to lift your shoulders up to meet the ear. Just let your ear fall towards your shoulder. And feel that stretch on the left side of your neck. If you have any issues with your neck or any pain, then go ahead and keep your head a bit center. If the stretch feels good, with your exhale, roll your head forward so you're looking into your right pocket. Bring your chin to the center of your chest. Peek in your left pocket and let your left ear fall towards your left shoulder. And again, see if you can let your shoulders be easy and relaxed and let your ear fall towards your shoulder instead of bringing your shoulder up towards your ear. Take 3 breaths of your own cycle here. And then when you're complete, we're going to roll back to the right side. So peek in that left pocket. Bring your chin to center. Peek in your right pocket and your left side. As you inhale, roll your neck around the back. And as you exhale, back with your ear towards your left shoulder. Bring it around. Just slow circles with your breath. The next time your right ear hits your right shoulder, reverse your circle. When you've done 3 rotations in the other direction, as slow or as fast as your breath calls, bring your head back up to center, stacked over your neck and shoulders. Let's warm up our shoulders. Bring your hands out to shoulder height. Bring your hands up to your shoulders and your elbows pointing out about the same height as your shoulders. We're going to start with small circles about the size of a quarter. Doesn't matter which direction you want to go. We'll reverse that in a second. And then maybe make bigger circles, the size of a donut. I like big donuts apparently. And then let those be even bigger, maybe the size of a steering wheel. The next time your shoulders come forward, let your elbows come back to shoulder height. And in the opposite direction, roll your shoulders, making little circles with your elbows about the size of a quarter, the size of a donut, the size of a steering wheel. And then let your hands fall back to your side. You want to wake those hips up. So let's start by shifting your hips to the right side, to the back, bring them around to the left side and the front, like you've got an invisible hula hoop, but making some circles with your hips. As slow, as big as it feels good to you. Next time you come up through center, reverse your circle. And still that movement. Come back to a tall stand. Check in with your feet and see that you're still equally balanced. A slight bend in your knees so you're not hyperextending. Let your hands fall down to your side. Lift the crown of your head to the sky, a nice, tall, strong back. Lift up your kneecaps, press your feet into the ground. Your inhale, reach your hands up. Bring them palms together overhead, hands to heart center. Do that again. As you inhale, sweep your arms up, overhead, palms together, hands to heart center. Last one. Inhale, reach your hands up to the sky, palms together overhead, palms to heart center. Let your hands fall to your sides, sweep them up overhead, palms together, heart center, or swan dive forward in our first forward fold of the day. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Maybe this is a good place to toe heel your feet out a little wider for this first forward fold. Bring your hands to blocks if you need to bring the floor up to you, or this is a great place to use our chair for this forward fold. And place your hands on that chair. See if you can let go of holding on with your back and release towards the ground, bringing your torso towards your thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need to let that happen. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins or on the seat. Come to a flat back, parallel to the ground for half lift. Shine your heart forward, look up. Exhale, forward fold, letting your torso come back towards your thighs. Inhale, step your right foot back, bending your right knee. This is another great place. You can see I'm using the chair, my leverage here versus putting my hands on the ground. This makes this pose a lot more accessible for me and gives me more mobility. So I'm here in this low lunge, and I have the option to use the chair, or maybe I bring blocks to each side of my feet on whichever level. This really feels good with me, my hands on my chair, so maybe you want to try that. I'm going to spin my back heels. My heel is down. My toes are at 2 o'clock, facing out. I'm going to walk my hands and lift my torso. Coming up for warrior one, square my hips. Tiny back bend here. Exhale, bring my hands back to the ground or the chair. Step my right foot up. Come back to standing and forward fold. Inhale. Rise up to standing, hands overhead together in the heart center. On the other side, inhale, reach your hands up. Swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shin or chair, flat back. Shine your heart forward, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left foot back this time. Bending towards a 90 degrees on your right knee. Again, this can be using the chair or the blocks to the ground. I'm going to walk my hands up my legs for leverage. Spin my back foot down, so my toes are at 10 o'clock now. Take that knee towards 90 degrees. Reach up for warrior one on this side. A tiny back bend. And forward fold back to the chair or the ground. This time, I'm going to step my right foot back and come into plank, so you can see how I'm using the chair for my plank. And here I can even, see, cobra. Lower down and look up for a cobra. And then coming out, I just step back forward. Again, to a forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing. So cobra with my hands on the chair, you saw that was a little challenging. So what I think I would do instead is come to standing and do cobra with my hands on my hips and lean back instead of trying to use the chair. For some reason that was just a little awkward. So we're learning together. All right, let's continue building. Take a little step back. Inhale, reach your hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the chair or the block. Check in. See if you need more space. Bend in your knees. Inhale, flat back. Look forward, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right foot back. You can see I actually step my left foot forward too. Spin the heel down. I'm going to walk my hands up to warrior one. This time, spinning my right foot back parallel with the short edge of my mat, sweeping my hips open and my arms out at shoulder height for warrior two. So we've done this before. Look out over the front fingers. Exhale, let the right hand fall to the back of the right side. Reach the left hand up and over for reverse warrior. Breathe. Come back to warrior two. Sink a little lower. Keep your foot in your head. The brain has magical powers too. And then take your left elbow to your left thigh. Reach your right arm up and over for extended side angle. Again, this is a good place if you want to use the chair. Is leverage to leap over, lean over. Exhale back to warrior two. This time straighten your leg. I'm going to close my toes a little bit and come back to angling my foot to 45 degrees. And here I'm going to take pyramid. So you remember pyramid, we did both legs are straight. The back foot, the toes are pointed towards 2 o'clock. And I'm going to fold over my front leg. And here the blocks are a good height for me. But you may find the chair is helpful here too. We're just going to pause and catch our breath, feeling that I feel this stretch in my inner thigh, my hamstring, as well as my hips. I walk my hands back up to standing. I'm going to pivot my toes in so that I'm facing the side of my mat now. Sweep my hands up overhead. And I'm going to forward fold with this wide leg forward fold. Again, I'm going to use my blocks here. You'll toe your feet out wider if that feels good. Bend your knees. And feel this stretch. We're going to plant our right hand on a block or the ground. Sweep the left arm up. And let it come back. Plant the left hand. Sweep the right arm up for a twist. And come back. I'm going to use my hands on my thighs or my low back to come back to standing. I'm going to close my stance just a touch. And here, I'm going to reach out with my hands wide, so this is a star pose. So from star, on your next inhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows, and come into goddess pose. Like chair, this one's going to get you some fiery feelings really quick. Breathe, and sink a little lower. On your next inhale, come back up to standing. As you exhale, sink back into goddess, bending your knees, your elbows. Inhale, come back up to standing. We're going to turn back towards the front of our mat, stepping the right leg up to meet the left. We're going to do that sequence on the other side. So inhale, reach your hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left foot back this time. Let your heel come to the ground. Walk your hands up. Square your hips towards the front of your mat. Reach up for warrior one. Get a little back bend. Exhale, your hands back to the ground. Let's put pyramid here. So straighten your front leg, bending over it. Blocks or a chair may be good if you can't, if you're not reaching your all the way to the ground. So help yourself out here. I'm gonna rebend my right knee, spin my left foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. Open my hips, come into warrior two on this side, looking out over the front fingers. Breathe. Flip my palm, let my left hand come to the back of my left thigh. Reach backward for reverse warrior. Come back, warrior two. Right elbow to right thigh, reach left arm over. Extended side angle. Come back to standing. Pivot the right toes back to the side of our mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, wide leg forward fold. Plant your right hand. Sweep your left arm open for a twist. Exhale that hand back to the ground. Inhale, sweep your right arm for a twist open to the right side. Sweep your hand back to the ground. Using your hands on your thighs or on your hips or the middle of your back. Come back up to standing. Reach for the sky. Adjust if you need to. Come back to our star pose. As you exhale, point your toes out. Bend your knees and your elbows. Come into goddess and breathe. As you exhale, sink a little lower. Star for 2 breaths. Your next exhale, sink back into goddess for 3 breaths. Exhale, go back to your forward fold, turn your feet back in. This is a great place to take a resting pose, like child's pose. So I'm gonna do that, and you're welcome to join me. My child's pose, I'm gonna rest my elbows on blocks. support my torso. Oh, catch my breath. When you're ready, push into your hands, come up on all fours, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back to downward facing dog, and then walk your feet to meet your hands, forward fold towards the front of your mat. Inhale, rise up to standing, hands together, heart center. So that's our first sequence. I will write it down and you guys can repeat it. In the middle of the week, we're gonna do a plank challenge, and we're also gonna do some modifications with the chair. So I can't wait to see you later this week. Thanks for joining me.